Day, February 12th. A revelation is pressing against the fabric of your reality, demanding to be heard. I ask you to silence the world outside right now. Turn off the distractions, close the door to the noise, and bring your attention inward. What we are about to discuss is not mere entertainment. It is a spiritual diagnosis of your entire existence. You have likely spent years wondering why your life feels like a constant uphill battle, why betrayals seem to arrive from nowhere, and why the easy path, the path that everyone around you seems to walk so effortlessly, has always been denied to you. You have questioned if you are cursed, or perhaps just unlucky. The truth is both terrifying and glorious. You are not cursed, you are being hunted. You carry a spiritual asset within you, a frequency valued in the trillions, within the economy of the universe. And there is an ancient opposing force that has known this since your first breath. You are not merely living a human life, you are guarding a vault. To understand why the opposition has been so fierce, you must first understand the value of what you carry, and more importantly, learn how to steward it without being crushed by the weight of it. This journey of holding such immense power can feel isolating, and often we lack the manual to operate our own machinery. This is why I strongly encourage you to explore the 3 keys to a prosperous life. This trilogy is not just a set of books. It is a practical map designed specifically for chosen ones like you to finally awaken to who you really are, to heal the invisible locks that have held you back, and to expand with stability. It teaches you how to receive, sustain, and multiply your blessings without the guilt that has been programmed into you. Available as both an e-book for deep study and an audiobook for immersion, this trilogy is the guide you have been waiting for. You can find the link elegantly placed in the pinned comment and description below. If you feel the call to stop surviving and start governing your reality, I invite you to begin that journey today. Now let us return to the nature of this asset you possess. Within you resides what we might call a forbidden gift. It is not a talent you can learn in school, nor is it a skill you can sharpen with practice. It is ontological. It is woven into the very fiber of your being. It is a frequency of incorruptible purity. When we look through the lens of Neville, Goddard, and the great mystics, we understand that your imagination and your consciousness are not merely human faculties, they are God operating in man. However, there is a specific quality to your consciousness that makes you a high-value target. It is your inherent inability to merge with corruption. The system of this world, often governed by laws of transactional exchange and moral compromise, operates on a very dense, low frequency. Most souls, when applied with enough pressure, will eventually sell their essence. They will trade their authenticity for comfort, for acceptance, or for a fleeting sense of power. They adapt to the darkness because it is easier than being the light. You, however, are an anomaly. You are a glitch in the matrix of decadence. You have tried to fit in. You have tried to lower your vibration to match those around you just to find some peace. But you cannot do it. Your soul rejects the lie. And it is exactly this refusal, this stubborn purity, that the devil understood here as the archetype of negation, the spirit of dense matter and apathy, desires to acquire. The adversary does not always appear with a frightening face. Often he appears as the merchant of ease. The attempt to buy your gift rarely looks like a dramatic Faustian bargain. It looks like exhaustion. It looks like a series of disappointments designed to wear you down until you finally say, I give up. I will be like everyone else. I will stop dreaming. I will stop feeling so deeply. I will stop striving for truth. That moment of resignation is the transaction. That is the sale. The dark forces do not need to take your soul by force. They only need you to voluntarily devalue it. They want you to believe that your sensitivity is a weakness, when in reality, it is the security system of your treasure. Consider the timeline of your life. Look back at the moments where you faced the greatest opposition. Was it not right before a breakthrough? Was it not when you decided to purify your life, to step into a new level of awareness? The attacks are not random. They are strategic containment measures. If you are resonating with this, if you can feel the truth of this diagnosis in your bones, I invite you to click the like button, not for the algorithm, but as a signal to yourself and this community that you are awake to the game being played. Neville Goddard taught that the world is a mirror reflecting the state of your own consciousness. But for the chosen, the mirror often seems distorted because the world is trying to convince you that you are small. The devil tries to buy your gift by offering you a counterfeit version of reality. He offers you validation if you suppress your intuition. He offers you companionship if you tolerate toxicity. He offers you peace if you ignore the injustice around you. But you have never been able to accept these payments. Every time you tried to compromise, your spirit revolted. You felt sick, anxious, or deeply depressed. That pain was not a symptom of mental illness. It was your immune system fighting off a spiritual infection. It was your forbidden gift protecting itself from being sold. This is why you have felt lonely in crowded rooms. It is why you see through the masks of others instantly. This gift of clear sight is dangerous to the system of illusion. If you were to fully embrace your power, if you were to realize that your imagination can overwrite the script of this reality, you would become uncontrollable. The system relies on sleepwalkers. You are an alarm clock. The attempt to buy you out is essentially a bribery attempt to keep you quiet. They want to purchase your silence with mediocrity. But today, February 12th, marks a turning point. By simply acknowledging that this transaction is being attempted, you void the contract. You are realizing that the difficulties you face are not evidence of your failure, but evidence of your value. No one tries to rob an empty house. No one lays siege to a fortress that holds no treasure. The intensity of the battle is the greatest compliment the darkness could pay you. It confirms that what you carry is terrifying to them. You must understand that this devil, this energy of negation, is terrified of your potential to create. Neville Goddard emphasized that creation is finished, and we only need to occupy the state of the wish fulfilled. Your gift is the ability to occupy states of consciousness that bring heaven to earth. Most people can only occupy states that replicate the status quo. You have the capacity to envision and manifest realities that defy the logic of the current system. That is why they want to buy your imagination. They want to fill your mind with worry, fear, and resentment so that you use your divine power to create more hell rather than bringing forth the paradise you carry within. Think of the times you were betrayed. In those moments, the temptation was to become bitter, to close your heart, to decide that love is a lie. If you had done that, the purchase would have been complete. You would have traded your heart of flesh for a heart of stone. But you didn't. You grieved, you hurt, but you remained soft. You remained open. That resilience is the forbidden gift. It is the gold that cannot be tarnished. And because you refused to sell, the pressure increased. But so did your capacity. If you are finding strength in this message, consider subscribing to the channel. We are building a sanctuary here, a gathering of those who have refused to sell their souls, and your presence strengthens the collective signal. Now, as you move forward from this realization, you must change your strategy. You have been playing defense, trying to protect yourself from the onslaught. It is time to play offense. Not by fighting the darkness, but by turning up the light. You do not negotiate with the merchant of the soul. You evict him. You must declare that your essence is not for sale, not for any price, not for love, not for money, not for peace of mind. You must become comfortable with being misunderstood, for it is the price of being priceless. The forbidden nature of your gift is only forbidden by the laws of a fallen world. In the eyes of the divine, it is the standard. You are the prototype of the new human. The resistance you feel is the friction of a new world being born through you. Do not let them buy your birthright for a bowl of soup, as the old stories say. Do not trade your infinite potential for a moment of relief. As you go through the rest of this day, observe the offers. Observe where you are tempted to lower your standards, where you are tempted to agree with a lie just to keep the peace. Recognize it as a business transaction you are declining. You are holding out for the ultimate realization of your power. You are keeping the vault locked until you are ready to unleash its contents on your own terms. There is, however, a deeper layer to this mystery. Knowing you have the gift is step one. Protecting it is step two. But the ultimate purpose of this gift is not just to be guarded, it is to be used. There is a specific way to unlock the vault from the inside, a method to release this energy so that it transforms your environment instead of just sustaining you within it. The key lies in a shift of identity so profound that the devil no longer even approaches you with an offer because he knows you are out of his price range. This state of being out of price range is not about arrogance or financial wealth. It is about vibrational sovereignty. It means your internal validation system is so robust, so deeply anchored in the truth of who you are, that external validation, or the lack thereof, no longer holds any sway over your emotional equilibrium. When you need nothing from the outside world to feel whole, the outside world loses its leverage. This is the nightmare of the control system, because a human who cannot be bribed with comfort or threatened with fear is a human who cannot be controlled. You become a glitch in the matrix, a variable that the algorithm cannot predict. However, reaching this level of sovereignty requires more than just intellectual understanding. It requires a systematic reprogramming of your subconscious mind and a healing of the nervous system that has been conditioned to live in survival mode. To navigate this transition from a reactive state to a creative state, you need a structure, a guide that walks you through the practical application of these ancient truths. This is the core purpose of the 3 keys to a prosperous life. I designed this trilogy not merely as a set of books, but as a practical map for the chosen to finally awaken to who they really are, to cure the invisible locks that have held them back for decades, and to expand with stability. It is about learning how to receive, sustain, and multiply your blessings without the guilt that has been programmed into you. Whether you prefer to read the ebook or immerse yourself in the audiobook experience, this trilogy is the toolkit for your ascension. If you feel ready to stop looping and start ascending, look for the link in the pinned comment or description to begin this journey. Now, let us dissect the anatomy of this immunity to the devil's offers. To understand how to become untouchable, you must first understand the mechanics of the temptation. The system, whether you call it society, the matrix, or the adversary, operates on a currency of emotional reaction. Every time you are triggered, every time you spiral into anxiety over a future that hasn't happened, or sink into depression over a past you cannot change, you are paying a tax. You are leaking vital life force energy. This energy, often referred to in esoteric circles as loosh, is the food source of the unconscious collective. When you engage in low vibrational conflicts, when you argue with people who are committed to misunderstanding you, you are essentially feeding the beast that bites you. The shift happens when you realize that your attention is not just a passive observation tool, it is a currency more valuable than gold. Where you place your attention, energy flows and reality grows. The merchant knows this. That is why the world is designed to be a carnival of distractions, a constant bombardment of fear-inducing news, outraged social media algorithms, and interpersonal dramas designed to keep your gaze fixed on the problem. As long as you are staring at the problem, you are energizing it. You are using your God-given creative power to sustain the very prison walls you wish to tear down. The moment you withdraw your attention, the moment you look away from the chaos and turn your gaze inward to the silence of your own being, you cut the power cord. You stop funding the war against yourself. This is often the most difficult step for the chosen because you are naturally empathetic. You feel the pain of the world. You want to fix, to help. to heal. The trap lies in thinking that you must lower your vibration to match the suffering in order to heal it. This is a lie. You cannot pull a drowning man out of the water if you jump in and drown with him. You must stand on the solid ground of your higher frequency and extend a hand. This is what it means to be in the world, but not of it. You observe the chaos, but you do not consent to participate in it emotionally. You witness the storm, but you remain the calm center. This non-reactivity is not indifference, it is mastery. It is the difference between a thermometer, which just reflects the temperature of the room, and a thermostat, which sets it. Consider the relationships in your life that have drained you. Often, the chosen are magnets for narcissists and energy vampires. This is not a punishment, it is a biological reaction to your light. Moths are drawn to the flame not to worship it, but to consume it. These individuals, consciously or unconsciously, sense the vast reservoir of energy you carry, the very gift we spoke of earlier. They provoke you, belittle you, or play the victim to elicit a reaction from you. They need your emotional output to sustain their false sense of self. In the past, you likely gave it to them. You defended yourself, you cried, you tried to explain your point of view, you poured your energy into the bottomless pit of their need. That was the transaction. That was the sale. The moment you decide to stop explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you, you reclaim your power. Silence is the most expensive commodity you can offer to someone who feeds on conflict. When you respond to an accusation with silence or a simple "you are entitled to your perspective" without a spike in your heart rate, you starve the dynamic. You break the contract. You will notice that when you stop playing your part in these dramas, the other actors will either escalate their behavior in a desperate attempt to get a reaction, or they will simply fall away from your life. They will go in search of a cheaper source of energy. This clearing of your social environment is a necessary part of the process. Do not mourn the loss of those who were only attached to your wounds, not your essence. As you reclaim this energy, you will find you have a surplus. This is where the magic begins. Most people live in an energy deficit, barely having enough vitality to get through the day, let alone manifest a new reality. But as you plug the leaks, the worry, the arguments, the need for approval, you begin to accumulate a reservoir of creative power. This is the vault filling up. Now, what do you do with it? You invest it. You invest it in a vision of your future that is so compelling, so vivid, that it begins to override the sensory evidence of your current reality. This is the true meaning of faith. It is not blind belief. It is the ability to hold a frequency that is different from your environment until your environment shifts to match you. It is the alchemical process of transmutation. You take the lead of your traumatic past, the betrayal, the abandonment, the loneliness, and you use the heat of your focused attention to melt it down and reshape it into gold. The betrayal becomes the lesson in discernment. The abandonment becomes the catalyst for self-reliance. The loneliness becomes the solitude necessary for communion with the divine. Nothing is wasted. Every scrap of pain you have endured is fuel for your ascent, if you choose to burn it in the engine of your purpose, rather than carrying it as baggage. If this perspective is shifting something within you, if you feel the weight lifting as you realize you hold the keys, take a moment to like this video. It signals to the algorithm, and more importantly to the universe, that you are aligning with this higher timeline. We must also address the biological aspect of this shift. Your body is the hardware upon which the software of your consciousness runs. For years, perhaps decades, your body has been addicted to the chemistry of stress. When you are in a state of fight or flight, your body produces cortisol and adrenaline. Over time, the cells of your body develop receptor sites for these chemicals. You literally become addicted to your own suffering. This is why, when things are going well, you might find yourself unconsciously creating drama or worrying about what's the catch. Your body is going through withdrawal from the stress hormones it has grown accustomed to. It is craving the hit of anxiety. Recognizing this is crucial. When you feel that sudden urge to worry when everything is calm, recognize it not as a premonition of doom, but as a chemical craving of the body. You must treat yourself with the compassion and firmness of a parent weaning a child off sugar. You must gently but firmly guide your attention back to the present moment, back to gratitude, back to safety. You must teach your nervous system that it is safe to be happy. It is safe to be at peace. It is safe to let your guard down within the sanctuary of your own soul. This somatic retraining is the bridge between the intellectual understanding of your power and the physical embodiment of it. As you stabilize in this new frequency, you will encounter the test of the mirror. The external world is a delayed reflection of your internal state. Because there is a delay, a lag time between the shift in your vibration and the shift in your physical reality. You may not see immediate results. You might change your mindset, stand in your power, and yet the bank account still looks the same. The relationship is still rocky. The job is still draining. This is the valley of the shadow of death that you must walk through. The devil will whisper, "See, it's not working. You're deluding yourself. Come back to the real world of fear and limitation." This is the critical juncture. Most people give up here. They look at the mirror of reality, see the old reflection, and assume the change hasn't happened. They react to the reflection, and in doing so, they reset the cycle. You must understand that the reflection has no power of its own. It is just an echo of who you were. You must ignore the current circumstances and persist in your new identity. You must walk by faith, not by sight. You must continue to embody the person you are becoming, regardless of what the world shows you today. This persistence is what collapses the timeline. It is what forces the mirror to change. You do not wait for the world to change so you can feel good. You feel good, you feel empowered, you feel abundant, and the world has no choice but to rearrange itself to match that signal. This brings us to the concept of timeline jumping. In quantum physics, there is the many worlds interpretation, which suggests that there are infinite versions of reality existing simultaneously. There is a version of reality where you are defeated, bitter, and broke. There is also a version where you are thriving, joyful, and living your purpose. These realities are separated not by distance, but by frequency. You navigate through them with the dial of your emotion and belief. When you dwell on resentment, you tune into the timeline of victimhood. When you cultivate gratitude and vision, you tune into the timeline of victory. The offers from the dark side are essentially invitations to tune back into the lower timelines. Every fear-mongering news story is an invitation. Every insult is an invitation. Every setback is an invitation. The invitation reads, "Come back down here, come suffer with us." Your refusal to accept that invitation is your greatest act of spiritual warfare. You fight the darkness, not by punching at the shadows, but by turning up your own light so bright that the shadows have nowhere to exist in your presence. You are also breaking generational curses. This term is often used religiously, but let us look at it practically. A generational curse is simply a behavioral pattern and a set of limiting beliefs passed down through DNA and upbringing. If your parents lived in fear and scarcity, your nervous system was calibrated to that baseline before you could even speak. By refusing to sell your imagination to fear, by refusing to replicate the patterns of your ancestors, you are literally rewriting your genetic expression. You are the cycle breaker. This is a heavy burden, yes, but it is also a glorious honor. You were chosen for this lineage at this specific time because you have the fortitude to say, "It stops with me." The pain you feel, the pressure you are under, is the tension of this breaking. It is the sound of chains snapping. Do not mistake the discomfort of growth for the pain of injury. You are not breaking down, you are breaking through. The resistance you feel is the inertia of centuries of ancestral trauma trying to keep you in the familiar orbit. You need escape velocity. That velocity comes from your intensity of focus and your refusal to look back. Remember the story of Lot's wife? She looked back at the burning city and turned into a pillar of salt. Salt represents preservation. She was preserved in the past because she couldn't take her eyes off it. Do not look back at the old you, the old relationships, the old failures. They are burning cities. Keep your eyes on the horizon. If you are resonating with this mission of breaking the cycle, consider sharing this message with someone else you suspect is a cycle breaker. We find each other by the resonance of our truth. Now, let's talk about the Trojan horse of success. As you begin to master your energy and rise, the offers from the system will become more sophisticated. They won't just be threats, they will be temptations of vanity. You might be offered a position of power, a relationship with a high-status person, or a financial opportunity that looks perfect on paper but feels off in your gut. This is the test of discernment. The system will try to buy you with a counterfeit version of your dream. It will offer you the kingdom, but without the sovereignty. It will offer you the platform, but control the message. You must be willing to walk away from any table where respect is no longer being served, no matter how much gold is on the plates. You must be willing to lose the world to keep your soul. Paradoxically, it is this willingness to walk away that makes you magnetic. When you cannot be bought, you become invaluable. The universe trusts you with real power because it knows you will not misuse it. You become a steward of divine authority, not a slave to human validation. This level of integrity acts as a shield. When you are fully integrated, meaning your thoughts, words, and actions are all aligned, there are no chinks in your armor. The devil enters through the cracks of our hypocrisy, our secrets, and our shame. When you bring everything into the light, when you own your shadow and integrate it, there is no back door left open. You become whole, and a whole being is a holy being. Let us deepen the understanding of the vault mentioned earlier. The vault is not just a storage space, it is a womb of creation. Inside this vault lies your imagination, your ability to visualize what does not yet exist. This is the faculty that makes you like the Creator. Everything you see around you, the chair you sit on, the device you are listening to, the buildings in your city, first existed as an image in someone's mind. Imagination is the blueprint of reality. The war on your mind is a war on your imagination. The system wants your imagination atrophied, or worse, hijacked. They want you imagining worst-case scenarios. They want you visualizing disaster. Why? Because you are a powerful creator. And if they can get you to use your creation machine to manufacture fear, you help them build their hell on earth. You must reclaim the projector. You must consciously choose what movies you play in the theater of your mind. Spend time every day in the vault. Close your eyes and visualize the life you are called to live, not just as a fleeting daydream, but with sensory detail. Feel the texture of the reality, smell the air, hear the sounds. Engage your emotions, feel the gratitude of it already being done. This practice is not escapism. It is the architectural planning of your future. You are laying the energetic scaffolding upon which the physical atoms will arrange themselves. This practice requires discipline. It is mental hygiene. You wouldn't go weeks without brushing your teeth, yet many go years without cleansing their imagination of the grime of collective fear. Make it a non-negotiable part of your day. Protect your morning. The first hour of the day is when your subconscious is most impressionable. Do not give that hour to your phone, to the news, to the demands of others. Give it to your Creator and to your vision. Set the tone. Anchor the frequency. As you move through your day, practice the art of the double vision. See the world as it appears, but also see it as it could be. See the potential in people, even when they don't see it in themselves. See the solution in the midst of the problem. This is how you bring heaven to earth. You act as a bridge. You anchor the higher reality into the lower one through your perception. There is a subtle trap to avoid here. spiritual ego. As you gain these insights and powers, the temptation will be to look down on those who are still asleep, to judge the system and those trapped in it with disdain. This is another trick. Judgment lowers your vibration. It tethers you to the very thing you are judging. You cannot free yourself from a prison while you are busy hating the guards. You must transcend the duality of us versus them. View the sleepers with compassion, understanding that they are playing their role in the grand design, just as you are playing yours. Your role is not to wake them up by shaking them. Your role is to shine so brightly that the light disturbs their slumber naturally. Remember, the merchant of the soul is not necessarily an external entity with horns. It is the voice of your own lower nature, the ego that seeks safety and conformity. It is the part of you that whispers, "Who do you think you are?" The eviction process we spoke of is an internal one. You evict the squatter of self-doubt. You evict the tenant of unworthiness. You declare that this temple, your body and mind, is under new